Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Ethan Etchart. I'm a fitness coach. I help people drop 5% in body fat. I coach entrepreneurs into ditching their vices and getting shredded. Today we're talking about intermittent fasting. I'm gonna talk about the tips and the risks and the benefits that I have seen and encountered going from 15% body fat all the way to 7% body fat. And so if you're interested in content like this, please like and subscribe to this channel and you'll get more content just like this. So first thing we're gonna start with is the risks. So the biggest risk that you can run into while fasting is dehydration. So this is why it's very important to drink water or have some salt with your water, because the salt has electrolytes. But be careful that you are drinking 0-calorie drinks. If you're drinking like Gatorade, or if you're drinking like certain forms of coffee that have a bunch of milk in it, you're going to be breaking your fast. And so make sure you're hydrating yourself with 0-calorie drinks, and make sure that you are getting a lot of water and electrolytes on top of that. The second risk is called hypoglycemia. This is basically a sense of dizziness, headaches, or fatigue that you get when you're not eating a lot of food. And so this will happen if you're just not eating enough calories in general. And so we have to be careful of this. When you're feeling dizzy, or you're getting sick, or you're getting headaches from fasting, make sure that when you are eating, you're eating enough food. Because if you're just starving yourself and then you're only eating a little bit of food, that's very dangerous and can put you in a lot of bad states mentally and physically, okay? So when you're fasting, watch out for hypoglycemic states. You'll feel very fatigued. Number 3, headaches. Okay, this is kind of goes on top of the hypoglycemic state, but this can be attached to just fasting in general, because we kind of have this, like what I've felt when I've done this intermittent fasting, is that our bodies get very used to eating a certain way. And so when we're adjusting to new eating patterns, sometimes we can get headaches from it. Or if when we finally do eat, we overindulge and have too much sugar, that will definitely get you a headache, because you might be like super hungry. And so you eat a bunch of candy and then are like something that's very calorically dense and full of sugar, and then you're gonna get a headache. So watch out for that as well. Another risk, nutritional deficiencies. If you're someone that's iron deficient or you're vegan, you gotta be careful, because you could be missing out on some B vitamins. And so when you're doing fasting, make sure that you are aware of all the nutrients that you need to be getting. And when you're eating, make sure you're getting nutrient dense sources. Like if you do eat meat, luckily meat has a lot of nutrients, a lot of micronutrients. And if you're a vegan, make sure you're getting everything you can and taking the right supplements to still hit your goals. Okay, muscle breakdown. This is also a risk that can happen when we're intermittent fasting, because we can be eating such a low amount of calories and low amount of protein intake that we actually are wasting away the muscle on our body to fuel ourselves. And this is what we do not want. We do not want muscle breakdown. We want to still be building muscle. Intermittent fasting is great for losing weight, and I'll get into those benefits a little bit later here, but we don't want to lose that muscle. We need to keep that. Lastly, another risk is that if you have a compromised immune system, it can be kind of dangerous. It just depends on what that immune dysfunction looks like. So if you do have tendencies to get sick a lot, just make sure that you're doing this healthy and you have a good game plan around it, and you're getting the right nutrients, vitamins, and everything that I mentioned previously, and hydrating. So now let's talk about the benefits of fasting. Well, weight loss is a huge reason why a lot of people do it. A big reason why people do lose weight when they're intermittent fasting is because the caloric deficiency, or the caloric reduction in calories, basically just meaning that you're eating less food because you're only eating in a narrow window. And before I explain this further, maybe I should have touched on this from the start of the video, but remember, intermittent fasting basically in most senses just means that you're going to be fasting for about 16 hours and then eating within an 8-hour feeding window. It could be longer than 16 and it could be a shorter window, but technically it doesn't necessarily count by most people's standards until it's a 16-hour break in eating food, okay? So back to the weight loss. When we reduce the calories, the amount of time we eat throughout the day, a lot of times we lose weight because of that. And it can come at the expense of muscle loss, like I said in the risk. And so this weight loss can be great for those people that need to lose a lot of weight, but it's certainly not a long-term solution if you're not getting enough protein and enough calories. We also lose fat during intermittent fasting because we get our bodies into ketosis sometimes, not always, but if you're someone that's eating a lot of protein and a lot of fat, you can put your body into a state of ketosis, is where your body is burning the fat in your body as fuel. And that's why you can have a lot of success as well if you're someone that's eating keto. Next, you're going to improve your insulin sensitivity when you do intermittent fasting. I kind of equate this to like imagining how your body's like a machine, right? And so when we're eating food, we're getting the glucose into our body. That's what the food's basically made of, especially the carbohydrates. That's our fuel, like the glucose in our blood. Insulin increases to store that in the muscle cells or liver, or also help us use it for energy. And so when we're eating all the time, this is why people get diabetes. They develop an insensitivity to their insulin because they are continually using their organs in the digestive system, and it's just taxing the system. And it's obviously a lot more complex than this, but this is the way to think about it. Just remember your body is a machine. And so when you give that machine a break through intermittent fasting, it is able to have a healthier response to insulin sensitivity. And that's what we want, so we have better metabolic responses. Okay, intermittent fasting also helps with heart conditions, or it's gonna help our holy cow, our hearts. Our hearts like perform better. Okay, it's going to lower that blood pressure and cholesterol, just because we are, like I mentioned earlier, you're giving the digestive system opportunity to rest, and now the heart can perform a lot more effectively. And another big benefit that I've found that has to do health-wise is when you look into the research, it's very good for longevity. It's going to remove like the oxidative stress or antioxidants in your body. It's going to help out with that. And also cellular processes. Basically, your cells are just going to be healthier through intermittent fasting. Apart from the health benefits, one huge benefit that I noticed in the context of just life in the 21st century is that it gives you so much more free time to focus on your other tasks you have in life, whether you can spend more time with family, whether you can focus on business stuff or your own projects that you have. You have more time when you are eating only in a smaller feeding window. When you eat 3 meals a day, that is a lot of time out of your day. Like if you eat like how I do, I could be spending like 6 hours a day almost eating if I split it up into like 3 large meals. I just have to eat 2, and I just have to eat all of it. And that way, and I obviously, like as an athlete, I have like systems around it that make it go faster. Like I make huge smoothies, or I make like huge dishes of food that I basically shovel down as fast as I can. And that's definitely another story, but but that can be very useful. So I think a lot of people with businesses, entrepreneurs, I think it's very beneficial for them to try intermittent fasting as well, because that productivity, you just have more time in your day to get things done. So what are my tips then for intermittent fasting? What I would say, number 1 is that hydration. Make sure you're getting enough water or tea. If it's coffee, just make sure you're not getting a lot of milk in there. You want to keep it low calorie, so that way you're still able to stay focused and hydrated during the day. Also, a lot of times when we are hungry, it's because we're just thirsty. And so when you drink the water, it'll help you get through the intermittent fast. Number 2, I would say do meditation. And so my channel is about sharing a lot of the big benefits of meditation. And me personally, I've been getting a lot of benefit on showing people how to do it as well. We start with like 10 minutes of breath work and work up to 45 minutes to an hour of deep meditation. And that really helps understand how the body works. And if you're curious about like what a longer fast looks like, check out the link, or check out my channel for the other video where I did a 48-hour fast and what spiritual insights I gained from that. But meditation will really help you understand what food does for your body and how you can use it to your advantage. Another tip is just focus on your goals more now, because since you're eating less meals throughout the day, you're going to have more time to focus on family and goals. And that's a great thing. And if you want to have more success with this, I would say definitely do this with a coach, do this with a partner, someone that you know is on the same vibe as you. So especially if you're living with someone too, it's very beneficial. That way you're not getting distracted by someone else's, what they're cooking when you want to eat, or when you're trying to fast, and it just keeps you guys on the same page and getting healthier together. And my last tip would literally just be to use Google Calendar. Use some form or your clock on the iPhone, whatever your phone is, that gives you a time frame that you can eat, and then you block out the time that you're not going to eat. So just so you're always aware of when you're going to eat and when you're not going to eat. All right, and so that's my video about the risks, the benefits, and the tips on how to succeed with intermittent fasting and taking yourself down, for instance, 5% body fat through techniques like this. And so if you want to learn more about this, please, like I said at the beginning, like and subscribe to this channel, and you'll get to see more content just like this.